The surface was painted a burnt orange with horizontal black stripes at uneven intervals. A jet black hollow around the right eye allowed the man to see. On his body, he wore a long black coat with an open collar that reached below the knee, loosely tied with a thick white bandage. His appearance was reminiscent of a clown. He was not a ninja. But Itachi's instincts were telling him there was something ominous about this man. His nervous tension was communicated to his 3 teammates, setting them on edge as well. "Hey, are you alright?" One of the 12 guardian ninja asked from behind. "We're just gonna check this out," Yuki replied. "Please, wait here." The man moved lazily forward during this exchange, and then threw his right arm up into the air. I have a question I'd like to ask, if you don't mind." He sounded extremely drowsy. Yuki unconsciously smiled broadly at the anticlimactic nature of the man's tone. "This road's closed today. How did you get onto it?" "Oh, it is then?" The man spread out both arms in an exaggerated fashion. All eyes were on him. The air shook. Itachi felt a subtle disturbance in his chakra. "Master Minazuki!" he shouted, but he was too late. Genjutsu. Itachi immediately dropped down into a defensive posture. While before his eyes, Yuki was frozen in place, standing rigidly straight. Through his skin, Itachi felt the people behind him freezing as well. The daimyo, his close aides, and the 2 guardian ninja had also been caught in the genjutsu. "No! That there would be anyone who would dodge my genjutsu, In a flash, the voice of the buffoon of only moments ago was brimming with intelligence. The hole in the mask seized on Itachi. And that there would be 2. Itachi caught his breath at the fact that he was not the only one to avoid being caught up in the genjutsu, and then he felt a chakra and aura racing up on him. Something was squirming beside him. "What did you do, Tenma?" Before he knew it, his teammate was charging the man. As he ran, Tenma glanced at Itachi. "My specialty is genjutsu. You can't get me with a technique like this." "A technique like this? Oh, well said," the man murmured. "He's laughing." That's how it looked to Itachi. "Guy, like this'll just take a second. If we both go at him." "Tenma!" Itachi called out to stop him. "We need to look carefully and calmly at your..." Tenma thrust a kunai into the throat of the muttering man. A ninja who cannot objectively assess the situation. "But what's happening?" Tenma asked, sounding scared. And for good reason. His arm had been sucked into the man's throat and shot out the back of his head. At first glance, it looked like his fist had smashed through the man's head. But the man didn't look the slightest bit uncomfortable, and not a drop of blood was spilled. Tenma's arm had passed right through the man's body. "We'll die." Tenma uttered a sound so strange it was hard to believe it came from a human being. His body flew up into the air. The fulcrum was the man's arm, which pierced Tenma's body. This time, it was no illusion. As proof, fresh blood gushed from the boy's torso. Flowing to the ground like a waterfall, Tenma convulsed in tiny seizures, but gradually grew quieter until he finally stopped moving completely. "Those who would rush forward, recklessly seeking distinction, die young. That is the reality of the world of the ninja." The men looked at Tenma's eyes, focused on an empty spot in the sky now. "But it's already too late to teach you that, The boy forcefully shook the arm that penetrated Tenma. and the corpse slid off and hit the ground. Of course, you did not fall, and you did not foolishly charge like this kid, but attempted instead to coolly assess both your power and mine. Wonderful, Uchiha Itachi. How do you know my name? I expect that I know everything about the Uchihas. The masked man's bouncing was replaced by a no-nonsense step as he moved toward Itachi. He walked very much like a ninja now. My objective is that old man's life. If you sit and watch quietly, I will spare yours. I'm a ninja of Konoha. He felt a pressure like he was being choked, but he desperately forced his throat open enough to spit out the words. Like a frog under the watchful eye of a snake, his body wouldn't move the way he wanted to. Perhaps because of the man's wordless posture. Perhaps his instincts, sensing the difference between his own abilities and those of the man, refused to let him fight. Or perhaps all the blood in his body had collected into his head, as his brain frantically tried to analyze the inexplicable phenomenon that was the man's body. Whatever it was, the fact remained that he could not move. I can't come up with a clear solution to a situation I've been put in. This was the first time in his life anything like this had ever happened to him. The masked man came up beside him. On his approach to the daimyo, it felt like he stopped next to Itachi. Could you say what you said before one more time? The man cocked his head to one side. I am a ninja of Konoha, Itachi said hoarsely. Does that indicate that you wish to die? Die? He thought vaguely. You can become a good ninja. There's no need for you to rush to your death here. Still, if you say you wish to die, then I won't try to stop you. Move, Itachi ordered his body. As the half-grown escaped him, Itachi managed to move just his right arm. He beat at the mask with his right hand, bereft of even a kunai. Just like Tenma's hand, his fist slipped through the face and came flying out the back of the man's head. He was sure the man was standing there before him, but no sensation of touch was communicated to his brain. The fear that he had already fallen prey to the man's genjutsu grew in Itachi's heart. I see. So you wish to die. The man brought his arm toward Itachi and swung it downward. The palm stopped inches away from his face. The man looked up toward the sky, blotted out by the thick canopy above. That chakra, he murmured. Atake Kakashi. The man turned his face back down toward Itachi. A narrow escape for you, Uchiha Itachi. The mask shaking. Itachi had no sooner had this thought than something incredible happened. The man was sucked into the hole in the mask before Itachi's eyes. The black body concentrated on a single point and was swallowed up by empty space, like the water in the bath after the plug is pulled out, until finally, even the hole in the mask disappeared. As Itachi stood there dumbfounded, 4 figures dropped down from the sky above. They wore animal masks. Anbu, an elite group under the direct control of the Hokage. Are you alright? The shortest of the 4, a boy with gray hair and a fox mask, shook Itachi by the shoulders. Hey, what happened? The other 3 Anbu were going around releasing the daimyo and the others from the genjutsu. As he awoke, the daimyo spotted Tenma's body and shrieked. Everyone but me was suddenly hit with a genjutsu, and it took a while to release them all. Sorry we're late. Itachi stared vacantly at the fox mask boy, Atake Kakashi. How do you know that name? The boy asked. Itachi instinctively knew that the boy in front of him was Kakashi. Even with the warmth of the blanket wrapped around his body, he couldn't stop shaking. The man's attack felt like a memory of a distant day. But it had only happened a few hours earlier. Given the urgent nature of the situation, the daimyo's visit was postponed, and he returned that day to the Land of Fire. After hearing reports from the Anbu and Yuki, the Okage and the other village officials decided to have Itachi report in a few days. He was sent home immediately after he returned to the village, but he didn't feel like doing anything. He couldn't muster any interest in even eating supper. He just lay there under his blankets, despite the fact that it was still early morning. Even Sasuke was awake. Itachi wrapped himself alone in his blankets and endured the incessant shaking. In his heart was a disappointment with himself. Tenma died right in front of him. He was the only one who could have saved Tenma, and yet he hadn't been able to do anything. "Is Itachi all right?" He heard his father's voice from the other side of the sliding doors as he arrived home. "He left his dinner. He's still lying down in his room," his mother's voice. "He's a ninja now. Teammates sometimes die in front of you." "But he's still only 8. He should really still be playing at the academy with his friends."